It's a few minutes in front of 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern on March 14, 2024, Thursday, March 14. There are 8 levels on the board to trade against in the E-minis. The top 2 levels are really a zone. The spiders in the pre-market got pretty close to 518.50, pulled back, I think within 20 cents or so, pulled back. And currently they are at 517.21. Market opens in about 30 minutes. And we'll take a look after the market closes at all the trades taken in the E-minis from these levels. Market's closed now. It's actually the morning after. It's Friday morning, but this is all Thursday's activity in the spiders. And an interesting day, right after the market opened, they fell out of bed. They did hit this 517.10. It would have provided a pretty good short trade, but it was after 9:45 and they were on their way down. So sticking with the rules, I bought at 516, added to the position at 514.84, bought again at 514, so I'm out of the money quite a bit. And yes, this would exceed the maximum loss limit, but there's a lot of places down here, a lot of reasons down here that this would provide good support. So I held on. And just like the other day where I coded that as a maximum loss limit day, which looks pretty painful in reality, that's not the case for me. I actually made money. Same today. Made money today by holding on. The expectation was when they were doing this, and I'm looking at the other charts, is that they're pushing this down to where the liquidity is. The professionals would come in, a buy program would happen, and they would flood the market and push it all the way back up, and then it would satisfy this 518.50 area. But they never got there, so they were kind of weak, now that we see the entire day and other time frames, and we see that we're approaching the end of the week, very important period of time on the weekly chart at least, it's not too surprising that there was a big battle here and they kept pushing it down lower. But there was enough to pull a base hit out of the combined position. We'll take a look at that. Then later they came down into this last level here, and that provided another base hit. So 4 base hits, but we'll just take a look at the trades as they happened. So as I mentioned, the timing was just a little off on this. It would have been nice to just ride this thing short. You didn't have any way of knowing how far they would fall. They sliced right through this gap, hit 516.05, like it wasn't even there. Not the expectation, of course, but you see me kind of ride these trades out and held on to them, put orders in for the next one. I'm adding position instantly. I only bought 2 here. Didn't feel really comfortable about it. Bought 4 here, and I bought 2 here. So I was total 8 long at this point. So a little uneven. Didn't use my usual 4 at each level. But either way, the average worked. So when it came back up into the money and above the average entry point, I was able to pull 4 points, and I even trailed it a little bit, and you'll see that happen. So I'll just scrub ahead so you can see long 8. They went a little lower, so I'm out of the money quite a bit. And just also keep in mind that this is a pretty important function of how much margin you have, and you just want to use a fraction of your available margin so you don't overextend yourself, and also make sure that whatever losses you have or unrealized losses don't exceed a certain percentage of your overall capital. 1 or 2% is generally accepted or generally considered to be a good benchmark. So here you see I'm long 8, and then I'm going to sell 6 and then trail 2. See how far I can get it. Because at this point, I was really thinking they would go higher. So they didn't pull it up too much farther. Could have just taken all 8 off it. There we go. Let me just back this up. You can see that happen. Usually it's pretty quick. There we go. So when they hit the level and sell 6, so now I'm long 2, they pulled it up, and I was just looking for an interesting ride higher up. I was trailing at 6 points, but they came back after, I think it was 925 on the remaining position there. Yeah, they never got higher than that, so they came back, stopped me out, and I just waited for the next opportunity, which could have been up here. And the lowest one on the table was 513.20, which is the one that did get hit. So let's watch this one play out. And the other one was, I'd stopped the recording at some point. They were kind of not doing a whole lot. I'll take you to the end of this recording, and let's take a look at the next trade. This one's pretty straightforward. When they finally came down into 513.20, and I will scrub ahead so you can see when that happened. It was in the afternoon, and happened. Let me go back up. There we go. Went past it. It happened pretty quickly. I mean, typically, I guess I should say, it was what you would typically expect these levels to do. Kind of too bad on the first few that kind of a little bit of a nail biter as they kept falling lower, but they finally found support. And as I said, it's just easier to see when you're looking at the big picture. And I have, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12 other charts on other screens that all tell interesting stories. And when you combine all that information, you get a pretty good feel of what the market's going to do in the near term. So those are the trades, and we'll take a look at the tracking log to wrap this up. The only thing I'll say about the tracking log is while there were all 4 levels that were hit, provided a base hit, the combined position, started with D, averaged in with C, averaged in with B, that combined position produced a base hit. So had you bought, say, 1 or 2 contracts or so at each level, this is what you would have. I didn't buy 4 contracts at each level. It was 2, 4, then 2. That was a total of 8 contracts long when I closed out that position, and then 4 later. So, my profit wasn't this high. I'm just showing you what you could have done. And, keep in mind also that when you divide any of these by 10, you have the gross amount for micro ES contracts. If you're trading, say 2 micros, that'd be $160. So that's pretty much it for today. And we got one more day of the week. Today is Friday, of course, but the market hasn't opened yet. But we'll take a look at how this week ends. And I hope those of you who have these levels that have been getting them via email every morning have at least experimented with them and followed along and tried your hand at something, even if it's just been paper trading accounts, something like that, just to get a feel for these levels. And thanks for watching, and hope you learned something. Have a great day.